Welcome to Two Fuse Wrestling. Make sure you spear that like button if you're pumped for the Goldberg retirement tour. It looks like it's taking place in AEW based on what Goldberg has said, what Tony Khan has said, what Wardlow has said. The fact that AEW has this stadium show coming up,
Yeah.
they're going to need that for the casual fan base. The sipendarity with TNT and WCW, competition to WWE. Now you have AEW competition to WWE. They're still on TNT. Tony Khan has done Sting perfect to me booking so far.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for Goldberg to take advantage of that and end his career there. That is how you actually fantasy booked
Yeah.
Goldberg ending his career. So why not you explain to everyone how you would book him in AEW?
So I've just first off, I feel like I don't give enough love to AEW, so I wanted to try to think of something for AEW. And you mentioned Sting in AEW, and I kind of took from that where Sting got partnered up with a young guy and kind of help elevate and bring along a young guy. So I kind of went the same thing. And I believe he said he wanted four more matches, or if he wanted a four
Four,
match
yeah.
retirement tour. So I came up with four matches, but I centered it around one storyline. And I figured you could start off and put Wardlow in a feud with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Easy word to say there, but I thought with if you did that, Wardlow's going to need some backup with all those guys, and then you could have a surprise with Goldberg as his tag partner. And then for your first match, a team I like is 2.0. I don't know what they're called right now, but Daddy Magic and the Cool Hand Ange.
His nipples get hard.
Yeah, yeah. I like those guys a lot. So for his first match, do him and Wardlow against those two guys, and basically just have it a squash where Wardlow and Goldberg keep tagging in and out, and they just chuck these guys around, like taking turns over and over, and then do dual jackhammers if you want, and then it's over. And then from there to just extend it, you could get Jericho involved in either Jericho and Hager or Daniel Garcia against Goldberg and Wardlow. And then with that, Jericho could hype it up by like shit talking Goldberg about how he smacked him around in the locker room before. But then every time Goldberg and Wardlow like storm the ring, Jericho could run away or push someone in front of him for the spear, like just stay away from it. And then still the same thing, I'd have Goldberg and Wardlow win. And then off of that, to kind of finish Wardlow's feud with Jericho, announce Jericho and Wardlow one on one, but they're each going back and forth with a stipulation. Like Jericho would want a submission match, Wardlow would want last man standing, whatever. So you announce that they're each going to have a representative for a match, and whoever wins, then that person would get their stipulation. So like Wardlow would have Goldberg, and then bring back 2.0 for a handicap match with Goldberg, and he just basically squashes both of them uh, to give him his last you know juggernaut
Crowd pleasing
badass
moment.
moment. Have him stack them up, kind of like Roman stacked up Edge and Daniel Bryan, and then Wardlow gets his stipulation. He beats Jericho. Goldberg comes out to celebrate, and then I would have Wardlow leave him laying, like hit him with a spear, and then for your final Goldberg match, which you could do it on pay per view if you wanted to do it at Wembley for that All In, your big show, do him and Wardlow, and then I would just have Wardlow essentially squash him, beat him with the jackhammer, take the jackhammer, and then it's kind of like a cool way for Goldberg to kind of pass the torch. Like he came in as this unstoppable force and then went out losing to an unstoppable force. And I think it would help Wardlow because Wardlow was kind of further up the ladder, I felt like. And then after everything happened with the AEW World title and Punk and Moxley, I feel like Wardlow's kind of been forgotten about.
Yeah, he was right on the cusp, it seemed like, and then
Isn't he still the number one contender? Wasn't he the.
I think he should have been,
Did
but
he
then
beat MJF and he was supposed to get a title shot and then Punk got hurt and he was like, I'll wait for Punk to come
yeah,
back
yeah,
and then.
and then all of a sudden he ate a pin to Hobbs, and now he's feuding
Yeah,
with
now he's
Hobbs.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, that they missed the boat with Wardlow, I think, mostly because again of the Punk drama runs AEW in essence.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that you're going with. First off, Goldberg. I do want to see. I get how he said he wants to go out on his terms and probably some wins, and that's fine. But yeah, set up the next guy, and
Yeah,
Wardlow's a good choice for that. Uh, the way you're booking it is exactly how I feel like Tony Khan would book it, where it's like, I'm gonna do you right, like I've done Sting right. I'm going to
yeah,
protect you, and we're gonna have that payoff because I do feel like Sting is giving Darby a payoff where I think
yeah.
Darby's big time.
And it kind of gives Goldberg a chance to do the right thing. Where like Goldberg, he's known for his ego and maybe mainly being in business for himself and worried about himself. This is a chance to give the rub to a younger guy and do the right thing and kind of get the next generation like set up.
Yeah, and he's probably going to be taking less money if he goes to AEW
Yeah,
than with
probably.
WWE. And the fact is, Wardlow is probably the biggest guy he could pass the torch to, like that is going to benefit from it greatly.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that 2.0 just gets screen time. They're
Oh yeah.
they're
Those
amazing. So anytime they get a storyline is awesome.
you give that Daddy Magic a mic and
Yeah.
just let him go off on Goldberg. I would watch that.
And the fact is, people cheer when those guys get beat up. So again, that gives
Yeah.
Goldberg that moment that he likes of the crowd being behind him.
Yeah, and then you talked about Goldberg might want to look dominant. He wants 4 matches. I let him squash 3 of them, and then do the job and send Wardlow on his way. So I mean, he still would look dominant here.
Yeah, and also he's gonna go down in history now. Then after that, he's going down in history anyways because of the Monday Night Wars and his streak.
Yeah,
But Wardlow, in essence, could carry it. Like when
yeah,
people say, "Oh, I like Seth Rollins," I always think about how he's like RVD. I copied him.
yeah,
Like when Wardlow says, "Oh, like I took the jackhammer from
yeah. It
Goldberg."
kind of helps Goldberg live
Continue,
on.
yeah,
Like,
live on.
yeah, because now you can mention where he got the jackhammer and everything like that.
Yep. And Wardlow's a good choice. He's very Goldberg-esque to me. I
Yeah.
mean, recently they've dropped the ball with him, but it's still not to the point where
Still
it's like,
savable.
yeah, like,
And I think, like you said, with this, it could turn it around. And like with the Sting and Darby thing, they have that cool dynamic where they're similar and they're hanging out on the rafters and they're doing similar stuff. You could do that with Goldberg and Wardlow. Like if they're gonna fight the whole JAS, let them show up like driving a monster truck. Like let them do some of that old school Goldberg like cool stuff. Let them no sell chair shots. Like just do all that old school Goldberg jump.
really, this would give the casual fan, the rub from the casual fan. This would give Wardlow is huge.
Yeah.
I think that is probably what Tony Khan hopefully will do is bring in Goldberg. I feel like it makes the most sense. Like use Goldberg to put over Wardlow.
Yeah. Fill that stadium. If you fill that stadium and you give Wardlow a huge win over an icon like Goldberg, you
You just did him right again.
you just got another
'Cause
star.
you fucked him over at no fault of his own.
Yeah.
Like that was his.
Yeah.
That wasn't his fault. So
Yeah, he didn't do anything to screw up.
Okay. In the comments, let us know if you're excited to see Goldberg in AEW and how you would book him when he joins the company.